Hey, we are back, if you can believe it. Very excited to return. Not expecting a ton of people to show up in this first stream because it's the first one in like 2 years, 3 years, probably close to 3 years. Yeah, it's been 3 years since I've had the opportunity to do that. Luckily, things in my life have changed and sorted out. I'm rededicating, if that's a word, a bunch of time and energy into content. And I got through a significant portion of that. Still a lot to do, but I do believe it is time to bring the stream back. I enjoyed that the most. Interacting with folks has been my favorite part of doing all this. Now I'm just making videos and those go out there. Sometimes there's comments, sometimes there's not. So I'm trying to get that engagement up and rolling like it used to be. So thanks to any folks that show up. This is all on the Kazi channels. So we are on Twitch, we are on YouTube, and we are live on Twitter. Also, I'll be adding LinkedIn once we get rocking and rolling. It's been a while, so I want to give everybody a chance to get back in the groove before we expose ourselves there, because that'll instantly hit a couple thousand people, and I expect folks to turn in, or maybe tune in, which would be cool. So looking forward to that, but it will take time, just like it always does. But I'm a persistent fella, so I'll be here streaming every Wednesday. Let's see, topic of the day. I'd say the top topic is going to be just all of the things that I've been up to. As COVID started to hit, Kazi, my business, which you're watching me talk about right now, didn't have a giant pipeline. So as people stopped spending money on outside consultants during COVID, I ended up having to rethink my approach. Luckily, I landed with a really good company called Storable. I was able to consult there for quite a long time, and then eventually jumped on board and got to do a ton of cool things, building teams, shaping teams, process, products, strategic fun, which is always enjoyable. And then eventually in the leading product, which was a tangent of some of my efforts. Then I took the wild leap into the world of Bitcoin mining and joined my buddy JP as the COO for his small company to get things rocking and rolling. And unfortunately, the only thing that rocked was the boat that is the price of Bitcoin. So I was only able to stay there for like 3 months before I decided I should leave, because my salary would pay for a couple of technicians to maintain all of the servers and miners that were needed to keep the business going. So I stepped out after 3 months, 3-ish months, and stepped back into my coaching. And luckily, friends and network that I have were able to help me land somewhere pretty safe as I figure things out. So big thanks to the folks at Vaco Built for helping me out there. It's been a good time these past couple of months, and now I'm looking forward to 2023 and where does Kazi go? Where does it grow? What's the next level? Oh yeah, you'll be seeing more of that. I also hired a social media / brand consultant who's done some cool work helping me pull all of this together, because I got a lot of irons in the fire, as you may know. If you've been around me long enough, you all know that I have a work in progress limit issue, which is contrary to what I preach. So it's one of those things where I do not successfully practice what I preach in that realm of the agile space. But I enjoy it. I was talking to a buddy yesterday and said, you know what, this chaos of tackling a handful of things at the same time puts a smile on my face. Now, the counterpoint is, am I doing that to compensate for something that maybe I don't want to address? Do I fill my time with work so that I don't fill my mind with whatever? Because, as you may or may not know, went through a divorce in the past year. So I started seeing a therapist, which has been fantastic. And that's been a talk. I found myself over time filling in dead time with work so that I didn't have to think about everything that was going on. And I know that that's a mistake. So I worked pretty hard at doing that. I've gotten through all of those items and that pain and challenge and everything that went along with that. And I'm feeling pretty good. Now I worry, am I ramping up and working on things because there's something under the surface that I'm not attending to? So we will tackle that as time comes with my wonderful therapist, and we'll figure that out. So, but it's at least good that I've got that at the front of my brain and saying, hey, buddy, like, watch out. Make sure you're not doing something you shouldn't. So, pretty happy with that. That's definitely progress from a year ago. One of the things that's cool about this new platform that I'm using is it will pull together all of the chats from across YouTube and Twitch and eventually LinkedIn as we rope that in. I'm going to wait and let us get rocking and rolling a little bit before we do that. So that should be fun. I enjoy it. But most importantly, I look forward to those questions. Those, I'm stuck. What do I do? And then we, the community, figure it out. As you know, there's nothing I enjoy more than having a question asked and I don't do anything other than nod and agree and highlight a support or message from someone in the chat. That's the place to be. So we'll get back there. Baby steps. Day one, get the stream going, get consistent. As you've noticed with the Metacast is back on a consistent every Monday drop, if you will. And then I've been pretty consistent with following it up on Tuesday and a couple days after that with highlights from that episode. And then Wednesdays, actually, I think I'm holding, Wednesdays is Life Lessons from a Dog, aka As I Raise River, my dog. What are some of the things that I found that overlap with some of the coaching that I've provided to folks or teams or companies as I coach my crazy dog through becoming a reasonable adult. We'll see how it goes. It's pretty good. She's good. She's smart, which is good and bad. You know, she tries to trick me a lot, but it's not happening. She can't trick me. No, I got it under control. So let's see, items that I'm working on right now. This is one of them. A heavy investment in content across a ton of platforms. So there's a handful of new tools that I'm using that make it easier for me to post across platforms, which is cool. That's nice, but creating decent content, like that's all I'm expecting myself to be able to do is decent content. And by decent, I mean there's value in the words that are being said, but maybe it's not the prettiest. Yeah, I'll get there. I think I'll eventually hire an editor or something because that's definitely the way to go. I'll get there. Not there yet. So heavy investment in content, and that I expect to reinvigorate the sales pipeline that I had for me with Kazi. Metacast, Bob and I have worked through Metacast 2.0 and the things we want to do. We're back on schedule. every Monday. As I mentioned, we're doing a much better job with planning. That's right, planning our episodes. We're starting to work on guests that will come in and add value to our listeners. So there's a ton going on there, which is nice. Then let's see other flyer type items. The Collins Worst broadcast. Yeah, funny name. I had this idea a decade-ish ago for enabling anybody to broadcast games in sync with the TV broadcast that's happening, because I was frustrated by many of the sports broadcasters or commentators that are out there because it's just so repetitive and they all copy off of each other, and it's just annoying. The challenge was consumer technology wasn't there yet. As I looked at it, the capability for your standard human to run an app, broadcast that audio only to a Bluetooth speaker or smart system or whatever label you want to put on it. It just wasn't there if you go back to like 2010 through 2012 as I was working at this. But that landscape has changed. And so I am investing pretty heavily in there. I'm broadcasting myself every Sunday night for Sunday Night Football as a bit of a product market fit experiment. And if things continue to go the way that they are, I will then seek investment and go build that product out. Simply because I am sure giving a voice to whoever knows how many people that would like to broadcast during a game, I am sure there is at least one person that is better than whoever they're paying to regurgitate all the same things. And there will be NSFW streams where language or whatever will be a thing. There certainly will be family friendly. We're going to make sure it is clear to whoever's tuning in what type of content is being broadcast, because that will be important. But there's a ton of opportunities there, and I think the market is pretty cool. So that's another thing I'm working on. Well, hello, Mr. Kellogg. Things are going well. Yeah, so the legal bits, as I'm working on it, we don't/won't broadcast the audio from the game. So you are just another person, as if you were a radio station. Or there are actually people that do this on Twitch, that they talk while the game is going on. They don't show the game because that it would be copyright issues and things like that. So you would have to be in sync. You cannot show the game or use any of the audio. So, all the things they say about not retransmitting, blah, 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 blah. We can't retransmit. So that's the thing. But I can tune into an internet show and hear people talk about a game that they are watching that might happen to be a game that I'm watching. So I don't have like a legal document that locks that in, but based on my research, that's the direction that I'm going. It'll just be interesting to see how it shakes out. So yeah, working on that. We got some pretty sweet merch. Got a nice logo. That is the real technology. There is building like a scrubbing mechanism where you can adjust your audio delay to match what's on TV. Now, the issue is if the audio is ahead of the video. That's where I think what we'd have to do is ask them to pause and hit play so that we get caught up. Now, that lessens, the ease with which someone can get on and up and running. But I'm assuming that network broadcasts are faster than whoever's doing the broadcast, watching it, relaying what they're saying, and then that getting back out to the internet for you, because they are at first dependent upon that broadcast signal. So it shouldn't be an issue, air quotes. I'm sure that will end up being an impossible thing that we'll have to struggle with. But that's the thing. I gotta flip this chat around that's on screen. It's upside down. Man, how do I do that? I don't like that the newest stuff shows up on top. Huh. Gotta fix that. I'll figure it out. Not right now, but I'll figure it out. So, yes, Mr. Kellogg, thanks for dropping in. It is good to see you. Good to see members of the community jumping in. Like the good old days, if you were here for the good old days. I'm sure we'll get Lori Blue, rocking and rolling, and Agile Biker, aka Eric, Bob. We'll see. Every once in a while, he would jump into the Twitch stream. So I think there's hope. Plus, now that it's on YouTube, there's a much higher chance. Go away. I got this. What's going on? Yeah, I mean, that's like, if you look at it. Oh, thanks for hanging out in the early days. Yeah, good times. That's the thing is, I think there will be some people that want to do the play by play. Like, that's a passion that they have, and that's cool. But as you look at Monday Night Football and what they're doing with the Manning cast, Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime has been experimenting with alternate broadcasters. So Do Perfect has talked through a handful of different things. And there's some cool content that I've been experimenting with as far as being able to wager channel points on Twitch. If we all, let's say we're going to do I think they call it, what do they call it? Oh, they call it predictions. So if you do a prediction on whether this drive will end in a touchdown, a punt, or a turnover, you can even go things longer, like the full length of the game, who's going to win the quarter, all kinds of things. And those channel points can kick in. I'm also partnered with Monkey Knife Fight, who is a alternative daily fantasy where it's more player by player, head to head in specific stats. That is interesting. My son and I have been toying with it, mostly during the World Series because he's a baseball guy. So able to lean in on him and ask some questions about what he thinks, but being able to use that. So I've got thoughts and ideas on how to integrate that. Of course, if we go bigger, having an integration into our platform directly with something like DraftKings or FanDuel or something would be pretty cool and pretty engaging for listeners. Yeah, Twitch, like I've seen Tim the Tatman do things like that. So I think eventually we'll get there. I think eventually what will happen when this is successful is that we could end up getting our own license to broadcast. Now we'd have to, of course, revenue share, blah blah blah, all of that. But I think it's going to end up this way, whether they like it or not. Very similar to the phenomenon of Twitch or YouTube or anything else that's going on. So I think it could be pretty interesting to see how that shakes out. So hopefully I am not too early in the game because I've been too early in a couple of games, and that's frustrating. But it's a decade later, and I'm revisiting it. So in theory, I think our timing is good. Actually, I do think the timing is good. Again, some of the major broadcasters are already experimenting with that, which gives me hope and would help with investors. So that's good. That's the space that I enjoy. Would be cool. We'll see how that goes. Then let's see. Other insanity that I'm into, getting into potentially manufacturing and distribution of various licensed sporting goods. Had a buddy reach out to me about that. Some pretty cool thoughts and ideas. And that's something that's something that's out there that could end up taking off. So, as I mentioned, a lot of irons in the fire. What's nice is I think I've done a better job of having many of those irons in similar fires. Before, I've had irons in completely different fires, just total disaster. So, again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but be exciting to see how all these things go forward. So yeah, it'll be a fun year in 2023. Heck, it's been a fun back half of 2022. So yeah, that personal whip. We're gonna highlight that one. Yeah. Yeah. Manage that personal whip. Amen, my friend. Amen. I will do my best. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's a challenge. And it's one of those things that, like, I know it's an issue for me. I wrestle with that, and I hear friends and other information, be it whatever, LinkedIn, books, blogs, podcasts, whatever it might be, that talk about dedicating focus to one thing and seeing that all of the way through. I'm certainly capable of doing that, have done that, will do that. But I don't think now is that time for me. To me, what I'm trying to do in an agile a manner as possible is iterate on all of the things, get these things moving forward, understanding where and how they're going to break, and then narrowing in, zooming in on the right answer for me, and hopefully for like the revenue streams. So you're right. It's definitely not me. There've been a couple of things in the past few years where I've caught myself trying to like align with all of those like traditional paths that people have said this is how you should do things, and I did those, and they kind of worked. They kind of didn't. So I'd say in the past couple of years, just building confidence in myself, my style, my beliefs, in who I am and how I want to roll, and then just really leaning in there. So, because the way I see it, 47 now, I'd like to be done in like 10 years and be able to hang out, help others. I'll still work. I'm not sure I'm one of those people that would do well not working, but revenue wouldn't be the issue. So it's interesting. I don't talk about income or salary or rates or anything. Like I just view everything for me personally as revenue and expenses. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I guess spending some time as COO, you just kind of view the world like that now. So good or bad. Yeah, and that's the thing is, except for the sports broadcasting, I've got a good partner that I'm working with. This Collinsworth thing, I'm talking to a small investor, just bouncing ideas and thoughts and things like that off, and just seeing where it could go. But I've got that all built in my head. Just need the money to architect it out and get it rocking and rolling. So yeah, and I think my hobbies are going to be just like doing what I'm doing, because I realize the things that make me happy, creating content makes me happy. Content that helps, right? Not just like, for me to see myself doing a TikTok dance or something like that, which I never expect to have happen. Contrary to many wishes, I imagine, except for my daughter. My daughter definitely wouldn't want me to do that. My boys would love to make fun of me. So content and helping people grow, which kind of lines up with the kind of content that I create. So I'm not sure I'll ever stop doing that. So that's where I'm going to focus. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, sir. Thanks for dropping in. It was great to have you. A good conversation. Love this part of it. And we'll be back on next week. Or there's always Discord. We chat on Discord a lot anyway. So thanks for hanging out. And we'll chat when we chat. Take care of yourself. All right. Good times, good people. That's the beauty of our community. Good peoples. So excited about that. All right, let's see what other things I can do here in this tool. I don't need an overlay. What is this overlay? No, I don't want the Restream logo. That's the tool. Yeah, no, we're gonna stick with what I got. I'm happy with this. I do need to figure out why the on broadcast chat, each new chat message shows up at the top, but in my little toolbar on the right here in the app, it shows, as I would expect, newest items on the bottom. So I got to figure out how to get that flipped, because it's weird. I end up looking in different places depending on what side of the screen I'm looking at. So I got to sort that out. I'm sure I'm not the only one with that issue. So I'll just bounce around. The other thing is, this is easy to add additional speakers, additional cameras in here. So we can do some pretty fun things with that as things go along. So looking forward to some of the cool stuffs. Jeez. Some of the cool things we can do here with this new platform. So it's going to be good. Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to call it. Half-hour stream. Good discussion. I'm happy with episode 1 of the Kazi Stream 2.0. All right, everyone. To any lurkers that tuned in, thank you. To Mr. Kellogg 22, the Double Deuce, thanks for hanging out and chatting. Look forward to doing it 1 week from today. Same bat time, same bat place, same bat channel. Same bat place? Just same bat channel. Same bat time, same bat channel. Yeah. Although I'm probably the only person that remembers that happening on the Batman TV show, the live action one with Adam West and all of that insanity. So, everyone, have a good weekend. Keep watching that content that comes out. And you're allowed to share. You can do that. You can share with your network. You can subscribe on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe there. It's free. Help a brother out. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Again, it's free. Doesn't hurt you. Doesn't do anything. So, but that does help us reach more people. So I do need a little help from my friends as we build this sucker out. All right. Take care, everyone. We will see y'all later.